Welcome back to my channel. It's been a really long time. Currently reading The Isle in the Silver Sea by Tasha Suri. I had this from the library and the first few chapters I was like, oh, I think I'm gonna fall in love with this. This is like a 5-star book. Now I'm like 25% of the way through the book, and I definitely think Goodreads reviews like kind of got in my head. I never do this. I never read Goodreads reviews before I read the book because I'm so easily influenced as a human being. So I did that this time for whatever reason. And people made points. Points were made. I don't know if I would agree with those points, but now those points are sticking in my head. You know what I mean? It's reflecting on how my reading experience is going now. My main gripe with this is that it's advertised as a romantasy, which I'm always having a hard time with the romantasy genre. For sure, 100%. I can guarantee this is a romance. The fantasy part of it feels like it's taken a little bit of a back burner vibe, which is irritating because the world itself, like the magic system in this, seems really interesting. It's set in medieval Britain. There's a magic system where parts of London only exist because they belong to some story or some tale. And the stories are the magic that creates the world that they live in. If you're outside of Great Britain or you came as like an immigrant into London, you are from elsewhere, but the people who are from elsewhere can't remember what that elsewhere was, is my assumption. Again, I'm not very clear on this world and what it's trying to tell us. The first introduction was the story of these two main characters that we're following, which is the knight and the witch. It's a very tragic love story. It kind of feels like a spoiler knowing their story, like how it's supposed to end. So it feels like I've kind of figured out the ending, but now I'm not motivated to read. You know, you see where I'm at here. I feel like in order to give it an honest shot, I have to reach 50% of the book. If I reach the halfway point and I'm not interested anymore, then I think I'm gonna DNF this because I am not at that point in my reading mood where I'm willing to keep reading a book that I'm not enjoying. The last book I read was Julie Chan is Dead by Lian Zhang, I think the author's name is. That put me in a really weird mood afterward. Kind of has you dive into influencer madness world and how people are kind of just garbage. That was like my takeaway from that book. It's like people suck, especially people who are trying to chase fame and numbers and just doing anything and everything possible and basically selling their soul in order to become a relevant influencer and stay relevant in this day. I think that's what's affecting my current read too. I wanted instant gratification basically, and instead I'm having to like learn a little bit. I'm feeling all types of annoyed. So I'm worried I will continue to stay annoyed with this book, but I'm going to try to calm down and do better. Give it a good chance. Everyone, I have decided to DNF The Isle in the Silver Sea. Unfortunately, the fact that they gave us the story in the beginning and we know that they're going to hopefully break the cycle of the story by the end, just by them giving us the story in the beginning, it just feels very predictable, and I hate when I can predict a book. We're watching The Witcher right now, and I feel like I am getting my fantasy fix from that TV show, so I don't need to read a fantasy book right now. Too much fantasy. So that means we're going to read a romance book now. I have two options. This is my new bookshelf, by the way. I built it all by myself. Thank you very much. This one right here is my romance shelf. I just bought Julia Song is Undateable. A lot of my mutuals have been like raving about this book, and at the top of this it says CEO seeks dating coach. Okay. Julia Song, CEO of Starlight Cosmetics, is at the height of her career. Then why does she feel like such a failure? Maybe because she's 30 and single with a terrible track record at dating. And in the eyes of her Korean family, of course, that's just unacceptable. It never really bothered her. This is until her beloved grandmother drops the bomb that she is sick and her dying wish is for Julia to get married. Classic Asian grandmother. Take him. Knows the weight of familial expectation. He's currently unemployed, living in his parents' basement to care for his ill father. Sure, he's become somewhat of a fix-it man for the Korean community around town, but that's not a real job. And the pressure to get his life together is getting to be too much. So when the Julia Song, his childhood crush, asks for his help, it may just be the distraction he needs. He'll do whatever it takes, even coach her for these 3 dates. Problem is, the more time they spend together, the closer they get. The more Tay wonders if anyone is good enough for Julia, including him. Okay, you know what? I'll read this. Well, this is one option. The second option is Mate by Ali Hazelwood, which I have started, but I think what happened was the same thing that happened with The Isle in the Silver Sea, which is that I am just getting too much fantasy. I know this is not technically fantasy, it's more romance, but it is set in a fantastical world. Like, the real world does not have vampires and werewolves. I'm gonna run into the same problem with this. So let's start with Julia Song. God. All of this to say that potentially I'm in a reading slump, but whatever. I'm just gonna ignore it. Okay, currently taking a break from reading because I'm trying to get Olivia Dean tickets. And I don't understand why it's so complicated to get these freaking tickets. I was like trying to get them yesterday in her pre-sale, and then they all ran out. And then I went to see like what the resale offer is, and people are selling floor tickets for like $800. It's so crazy. There's so many tickets available in resale. It makes me so mad. I might have to spend like $100 to sit in like the way back, and I just want to see her in concert because I love her voice. But instead, I'm gonna have to settle for stupid resale tickets, or I'm just not gonna go because I'm not gonna spend that much money for the money to not even go to the artist. It's just going to some random person who's trying to make a buck off of these concert tickets. I'm so annoyed. I am on page 70 now, and I just really love Tay. Like, I'm so obsessed with Tay. He is so cute. So he's meeting Julia for the first time in order to start her like coaching on how to date. He said it really isn't going to be hard finding someone who wants to date you. The hard part is finding someone worthy of you. It's so small. It's such a small thing to say, like, but it feels so monumental to be seen and understand, like someone else understands your worth. I'm having a really good time reading this. If you have any romance recommendations, please drop them in the comments. I just really need good prose, and I need them to have a build-up, because if there isn't any build-up to them falling in love, then I'm just not that invested. I would love if there's some yearning. I haven't seen good yearning in so long. Why are we not yearning anymore? You okay? Tay asked. Can I get you anything? Tay's voice soothed her. Keep talking. The sound of your voice makes me feel better, she said without thinking. Well, she thought she heard him say under his breath. I'm getting morsels of like flirting / yearning, and I'm just eating it up. We need more yearning in books. Also, one of my complaints so far is that we're being told instead of shown. Does that make sense? I never understood what that meant, but I'm getting it now. A lot of Julia's thoughts are just being told to us, and I'm just like, let me see them. Let me figure it out for myself. That's where the yearning comes in. That's where it's being like taken away from me. I'm not getting my rightful amounts of yearning because I'm just being told what they're feeling straight up. No, be a little mysterious about it. I need to see them yearn. I need to see them having weird passing glances, or like flirtatious glances, or like a touch of a finger or something like that. I just got back from Barnes & Noble, and I went with my friend Jamie. We walked around for a long time trying to figure out what book to buy because we both were in the mood to buy a book. We ended up buying Sunrise on the Reaping. The trailer just came out today. It just dropped. I watched part of it, but then I stopped watching it because I was like, I still haven't read this book. It's Haymitch's story. I'm really scared, but look at how beautiful this copy is. It's absolutely stunning. The movie is coming out in June, so we have decided that we have to read this book before June. So that will happen in the next few months. I'm gonna be devastated by the end of it. I also got my first ever blind box. I've never gotten a blind box before. I'm gonna open this with y'all. So let's see what's inside. These are the options that I could get. We'll see. I love all of them. I would be happy with any of them. Wait, this is so exciting. Oh my god, it's like a little gift to myself. Oh my god. Wait, this wasn't in... Oh, it is. That's so cute. It's perfect. That's the Barnes & Noble haul. Did I need to buy more books? Yes, because I have a new shelf now. Obviously, I need more books. I'm gonna go on the table. Suki! Obviously they're gonna get stuck to you.
She's gonna get scared and then she'll jump over you. So annoying. Suki, you're fired. You're out of here.
Fired.
Get out of here.
Puzzle helper job fired.
So I was gonna draw, but then I got overwhelmed by the thought of doing this hobby that I haven't picked up in a really, really long time. And then I was gonna watercolor, but then I started looking at the picture and I was like, wait, this is actually gonna be kind of hard. So it's not the amount of effort I want to put in right now to like relearn how to watercolor or relearn how to sketch. Anyways, I'm starting my scarf. This is like a, let's see. I've been wanting a maroon scarf for a really long time. So actually since last winter, I've been wanting to use this yarn and knit a scarf for myself, but I just wasn't able to because I've been having like shoulder problems for the last year and it's finally healed now. I found a video on YouTube from Mahum Crochets, sorry. She has this really cool stitch that makes her scarf look really cool. So I'm just gonna follow her tutorial and hopefully my scarf looks like hers by the end of it. I finished Julia's Song is Undateable last night. I gave it 3.5 stars, but honestly, I might bring it down to 3 because I skimmed a lot of the ending. It kept me entertained, but it felt like I was reading a TV show. I don't want to read a TV show. I want to watch a TV show. So it just felt a little bit too cheesy and like the miscommunication, bro. Oh, I hate when the third act breakup is miscommunication. So much miscommunication in this book. Communicate. Just talk. It's so simple. Open your mouth and say what you want to say. But I was entertained for a good portion of it. If you want a romance and it feels like a K-drama, like you're reading a K-drama, this one's for you. I am going to start Mate next. I'm going to try to get the audiobook from the library because I want to puzzle or crochet while reading this. I'm so into puzzling. This is why I don't get into puzzling, because when I start a puzzle, I'm like completely locked in and I cannot stop. But reading Mate next, crocheting a scarf. I started this as a reading vlog, but it kind of just turned into like a cozy hobby vlog. I'm so like yearning is the right word here. I'm so yearning for creating things instead of scrolling and absorbing content. So I think this is where I'm going to end the video for today. If you're here, thank you for being here, and I'll see you guys in the next one.